Okay, here's the fact of it. Now, I own quite a lot of mirrorless cameras. I own also quite a lot of DSLRs. I've said before about 100 times. The only reason I own the Fuji is because they're the best currently made cameras. Best cameras currently made, right? Yeah, there we go. Most of them made in Japan. Awesome lenses. Just incredible cameras. Build quality, customer relations, everything. It's just, nothing's perfect, of course. I never bought into mirrorless hype. Well, you own a lot of mirrorless cameras. Okay. Let's explain this really simply. Okay? Let's point out something that nobody seems to get. And that is that there's no such thing as a mirrorless image. Did you know that? Did you know that? Yeah, there's no such thing as a mirrorless image. No. And if we're not talking about videos, okay, because everybody today expects their damn camera to be a near perfect video camera. I hate to say this, but to hell with you. Go buy yourself a professional video camera. Go buy something like that. I don't do videos on videography. I'm not a videographer. I don't really, other than making these videos, I don't give a damn about video. This is not even a video channel. When we're talking about Sony, Nikon, Canon, we're not talking about videos. So, if you want to complain about that, yeah, mirrorless is better. However, I don't know what you're going to buy. Maybe you could buy an overheating Sony that doesn't have auto ISO and that crashes from heat. Yeah. Let's talk about something else here, mirrorless. Nobody, and by nobody I mean 99.9999%, nobody is using a damn mirrorless camera for sports photography, for action photography, for wildlife photography, and like 99.5%, nobody's using it for photojournalism either. You know why? Because there's no hardcore glass with Fuji. Hardcore meaning big ass glass. B-A-G, big ass glass. Or BGD, someone once told me, big goddamn glass. Sony doesn't have any glass. They're starting to, of course, have Zeiss put their name on a few G-Masters. But Sony doesn't have any glass. They don't even fix their own cameras. They come out with something new every 9 months. Oh, this latest crash, you got that crap from 9 months ago? Ditch that thing. That's an obsolete old dinosaur turd. Don't you love that kind of corporate philosophy? I have so many people. You could think, well, you're just a Sony hater. Yeah, you know what? I don't care what you think. I have a lot of people I got this Sony, God, I'm so unhappy, I spent so much money on it, you're right, I should have listened to you. You think I'm lying about that? Oh, I get those emails, and I get them quite regularly. Look into my eye if I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. I'm not lying. You see me staring into the camera? Do you see me blinking? Do you see me blinking? I am now, because my eyes are dry. There's no such thing as a damn mirrorless image. No such thing. Mirrorless is not smaller. Mirrorless sucks battery life. There is still lag. There's an old saying, too, that the last days of old technology are far, 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 far better than the new days of new tech. There's nothing new about mirrorless. I didn't even buy a mirrorless system. Well, how could you say that shit? You got 5 Fuji mirrorless cameras. I bought it because it's a superior camera. Build quality, lenses, attention to detail, Japanese made, tough as nuts. The X-T2 is a damn nice camera. So is the X Pro 2. So is this camera's amazing. Built-in ND filter, leaf shutter, made in Japan. Absolutely love it. This is the camera I've been most excited about this year. Other than what Nikon's going to roll out in the middle of this year. You see, Nikon and Canon, they own everybody's ass. When it comes to sports, action, wildlife, photojournalism, they own Sony's and Fuji's ass. They own it. You're not seeing a damn Sony on the sidelines of a fucking football game, are you? Or a basketball game? No, you're seeing Canon or a Nikon, aren't you? Aren't you? Aren't you? There's some sock puppets out there. Everybody, well, not everybody. How many did I get? I got 6 emails that is like, oh, the sock puppet made a video today. Talk about, oh, Nikon's failing. Nikon's gonna go under. You need to buy a Sony because that's the future. Yeah, boy. Yeah. Yeah, good point. point me to some Sony shooters on the sidelines of football games or shooting action and wildlife. They don't have any glass. Nobody's using that stuff for that. See, what percentage... Now, what would Sony be good for? Portraiture, yeah, nice, slow, methodical shooting. You can throw some nice Canon glass on your Sony for portraiture. By far, definitely not the best choice for landscapes. However, you could throw some nice wide Canon glass on your full-frame Sony and shoot. You know, that stuff doesn't move. No big deal there. It's got good ISO performance. I know people use it for video. Of course, eventually they'll fix the overheating problem, I assume. What else is it good for? Candid street photography, some other things. Wedding photography? Yes. However, yeah, generally speaking, yeah, plenty fine for. So we got weddings. Okay, we have portraiture, and we have like architectural and landscape. Okay, we call it 3 or 4 groups there. Sony doesn't have any glass for the hardcore stuff. Sports, action, wildlife, photojournalism, a few other things. The glass doesn't exist. It doesn't exist! There's no such thing as a mirrorless image. Nikon ain't going nowhere. I might remind you that Sony stock, as reported by Forbes magazine and others, was junk status in early 2015. Let me repeat that, not my opinion. It was technically called junk status. J-U-N-K. Junk status stock. Let me repeat those 2 words again. Junk status. You know? I always point out Nikon's stupid screw-ups. I point them out all the time. It's been announced by the head of head of Nikon's camera division that they're going to come out. Of course, this is their 100th anniversary. They're going to have I've been saying this for a long time. Nikon should stop making so many damn dinky-ass cameras. They're going to narrow the market on what they're making. So they're going to make more pro cameras, and they're going to make fewer cameras, but they're also going to introduce like a pro mirrorless line. The only person that needs to be afraid right now is Sony. Sony ain't got no glass. They ain't got no money. Nikon's coming out with a mirrorless system. Fuji's eating their damn lunch. Fuji just came out with a, it's not going to come out until a couple weeks from now, medium format. Fuji cameras beat the hell out of Sony, day and night, customer service, build quality. When's the last time you heard of a Fuji overheating? Tell me that. Huh? So they got faster autofocus tracking. Fuji's been making lenses for decades and decades and decades. Now, as of like, what, a week and a half ago? Now Fuji's making lenses for Sony. They're video lenses. Don't give me this crap about, oh, you know, mirrorless is the future. Really? What part of it is the goddamn future? The 2 camera companies that have Fuji and Sony that don't really have that much glass compared to Canon and Nikon, and neither one of them have any serious glass for sports, action, wildlife. Give me that bullshit. What moron is buying that crap? I don't know. The stupid people, maybe. You know? Oh, he says mirrorless is the future. Really? What part of it? The fact that you got to pack around 100 batteries? The fact that the cameras overheat? The fact that there's lag? Or the fact that none of these companies have any fucking serious glass? You know? I can bebop down to the damn camera store and buy a 300mm 2.8 or 600mm f4 or 500mm f2.8. You know? Where's that crap with Sony or Fuji? It doesn't friggin' exist. Something as basic as the 300mm 2.8? Yeah. Sony's not a camera company even. They're a consumer electronics company. And every consumer electronics company from Panasonic and Sony and Toshiba, they've done one thing for the past 30 years. They come out with a new product that shits on the old product from 8 months ago. But you can't run a camera company like that. Consumers hate that. It's okay if you're making Walkmans or TV sets or iPads. See, this is a consumer electronic product right here. An iPad, You know, people expect that Apple's going to screw you over and like come out with an improved product like every 8 or 9 or 10, 12 months. That don't work too well in the camera world. See, Fuji is still doing, which is Fuji, not Sony, is still doing firmware updates on old discontinued cameras that they don't make anymore. You know? Sony operates exactly like they are. You know, you expect a snake to bite you. You expect a skunk to squirt you in the face with its rancid filth. Every 8 or 9 months, Sony comes out with a new product that basically says, you know, you got that 8-month-old piece of crap. You know, the hell with that. We don't support that. Move on. It's the future. This is the next model. I tell you what, people hate that. You see, a camera is not a consumer electronic. Well, it is electronic, and there are advancements. It's technically not a consumer electronics device. However, Sony Incorporated treats it like it's a consumer electronics. Just like their Walkmans and their DVD players. Of course, now everybody else owns Sony's butt, which is why their stock was declared junk status a couple of years ago. Sony used to rule the world for DVD players, TV sets, Walkmans, all that crap. Now everybody else owns their ass on that. LG, Panasonic. Everybody owns their butts. Nobody buys a DVD player anymore, for obvious reasons. The Walkmans are gone. So remember when Sony used to sell computers? They're actually really good made laptops. The last one I had was still trucking like 13. That was actually really well made. So they don't do that anymore. But they still treat cameras like it's a consumer electronics product. Here's this $3,000 camera. When you buy it, we're guaranteeing you that 8 months later we're going to take a crap on it and we're going to come out with a new model that you must own and get rid of that old piece of junk because we don't support it anymore. That's the reality of it. There's no such thing as a mirrorless image. And Nikon and Canon, I don't care which one you love, they own everybody else's ass times 1,000 when it comes to glass and the hardcore shit. Sports, action, wildlife, photojournalism. They own it! Don't give me this crap. DSLR's fade, man. It's like a crusty old dude like Clint Eastwood. I mean, that dude needs to like tape 2 chopsticks to the side of his hot dog to even think about having inner... You know, he's just like a crusty old dude. If you probably smacked him hard, you break half the butt. People talk about DSLRs like, are you kidding me? What sort of planet did you come from? Yeah, DSLRs are dead, man. Screw that, man. Mirrorless is the future. Yo, bitch, mirrorless. Yeah, bro. That sort of emotional, logomachy, and pseudo-intellectual fanboy talk, you know? Mirrorless hype has always been mirrorless hype. The fact that I own 5 or so mirrorless cameras now has nothing to do with me changing my mind on mirrorless. Mirrorless is still BS. Everything people hype, mirrorless. So what? Who gives a shit? What did that little flappy mirror inside the camera ever do to you? The only people that need to be afraid right now are Sony. You know? This is their 100th anniversary for Nikon. They own glass factories in 3 parts of the world. They got a lot more liquid cash than Sony. A lot more. What you gonna do, Sony, when Nikon rolls out a frickin' camera, a mirrorless camera this year that doesn't overheat and actually has customer service? You know, not only are they going to continue on making on their pro DSLRs, they're going to come out with a mirrorless camera and they're going to smoke your ass like fried bacon. I could hear it sizzling right now. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Yeah. That's exactly what's going to happen. Mirrorless. Because, you know, that's what people care about when they see an image. Like, oh my god, a mirrorless took this image. That's a future, man. I like it even more. Bullshit. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.